I'm not an expert. I'm not an authority. I'm someone who has been a murderer for almost 20 years. One victim let me back in the car. I locked myself out. She opened the door for me. My gun was under the seat. What in the hell am I doing telling you that? Am I a masochist? Am I looking to be tormented further? I was raging inside. There was just incredible energies, positive and negative, depending on a mood. That would trigger one or the other. And outside, I looked troubled at times. Other times I looked moody. Other times perfectly serene. Not very sane. But again, people weren't even aware of what was happening. My mother was a sick, angry, hungry, and very sad woman. I hated her. But I wanted to love my mother. And I watched the alcohol increase. I watched her social life drop off. I watched her get bizarre. I just gone through a horrible experience with her roommate stabbing her. And I was in shock because of that. I couldn't believe that it was that way. And I'm walking back there bewildered. I gotta kill her. I can't let her go. She's gonna tell on me. Everybody's gonna get me. She sees the blood on my hands. What are you doing? And she pulled back and she gasped. And I think, whoa, I don't want her to know what happened. I said, your friend got smart with me. She'd been getting really smart with me a lot, but I never hit her. I killed her, but I didn't hit her. I said, your friend got smart with me and I hit her. I think I broke her nose. You better come help. She's about to die. Why does she have to know that? I couldn't deal with telling her that. And when I attacked her, she didn't at first realize what was happening. It didn't go through. She had very heavy coveralls on. It knocked her right up into the lid of the car, but it didn't pierce the clothing. So it wasn't that swell a knife anyway. I went out and bought a pawn shop, huge knife. It was getting easier to do. I was getting better at it. I was getting less detectable. I started flaunting that invisibility. Severing a human head, 2 of them, at night in front of my mother's residence, with her at home, my neighbors at home upstairs, their picture window open, the curtains open, 11 o'clock at night, the lights are on, all they have to do is walk by, look out, and I've had it. It was springtime. It was April. And for 2 months I hadn't killed. And I said, it's not going to happen to any more girls. It's got to stay between me and my mother, and it's got to... I can't get away from her. We're still fighting. She's still belittling me. I'm like a puppet on a string, and I entertain her. She knows all my buttons, and I dance like a puppet with that pain. And it had even gotten physical, to where I had physically grabbed her and thrown her onto her bed, trying to emphasize a point that I was threatening to kill her. That was 1 week before I murdered my mother. I said, she's got to die, and I've got to die, or girls like that are going to die. And that's when I decided I'm going to murder my mother. I knew a week before she died, I was going to kill her. And she went out to a party, she got soused, she came home, went to sleep. I was woken up by that, came out. I walked up to her bed. She's laying there reading a paperback, as many thousands of nights before. And she said, oh, I suppose you're going to want to sit up all night and talk now. Shit. I looked at her, I said, no. I said, good night. And I knew I was going to kill her, you know? And I'm so cold, it's so hard. And that's the first time in 10 years I've looked at it that way. I mean, that intensely, that honestly. It hurts. Because I'm not a lizard, I'm not from under a rock. I came out of her vagina. See? I came out of my mother. And in a rage, I went right back in. For 7 years, she said, I haven't had sex with a man because of you, my murderous son. It was one of our arguments. I cut off her head, and I humiliated her corpse.
Genuine severed heads, genuine stabbed dead people, real murder scenes, and this titillated all of the audience. But it fed a certain small percentage of that audience that might later get into sacrificial murder, might get into some kinds of other worship that may be their own end. You never hear from them again, so there's no resolution to the formula. In my case, it got to where it was like a dope fiend running from corner to corner looking for a better high, going from theater to theater looking for sleazier, bloodier movies, and looking around furtively at other people going in, and every now and then one of them looking furtively back at me, and I'm saying, there's a brother, there's a sister.
I just want the people to know the truth. I'm not trying to hide from a death sentence. I could have hid from it way back there in 1982 when I was first arrested. I could have hid from it when I was arrested in 1983. I wasn't arrested on murder. I was arrested for carrying a gun, being a felon, which is a misdemeanor charge. I didn't have to come forward and tell them one thing about any murder. It was, like I say, it was God that wanted me to do it, and I don't want people to think that I'm trying to hide from a death sentence, because I'm not. Whenever that happens, it'll happen. And as far as people thinking that I'm going to go out here and escape from someplace, no, I'm not. I don't want to escape. I've had millions of opportunities when I was in Montague to escape, and I'm not interested in escaping. I don't feel I belong on the street. And I am not going to put myself back on those streets. At my own personal going out there and escaping to put myself back there, I'm not going to do it. And the people that has the feelings that I am going to do that is wrong. And they can rest nice, because I'm going to be in jail where I feel I personally belong. That was a 14-year-old girl out of Harrisburg, Virginia. She was a sexual victim.
Why did you kill her?
Experimental. Experimenting about sex. I just got carried away.
What do you mean?
Well, I was more or less scared that she was going to go back and tell her family after me making her have sex with her. And I couldn't stand to go back to my mom and have her beat me the way she would have if she had found it out.
Had she beaten you before?
Oh yes, many, many times. I've got scars all over my body where she put on.
Why did she beat you?
Any way she could, for anything she could. It was just one of these type things when a person's drunk, they don't know what they're doing. That's the way my family was. They drove, since I was a baby, I grew up in a drunk house. And that's the way it was.
How did you feel about your mother?
I just hated her. Pure hatred.
Why?
Because of her making me watch sex like she was having with other men. My mom was a prostitute. She sold herself for money. And I just grew up hating it. I hated the thought of it. I don't say it's her fault, don't get me wrong, but it's just something that grows inside of you for so long that you can't get rid of it.
Should you have been let out?
No. I told them that way back in 1968 when they did let me out.
What'd you tell them?
I told them I would go back killing again, and I didn't want out.
You told the warden?
I told the warden, and I told the doctors, and I told the assistant warden exactly what would happen when I got out.
You got out.
Yeah.
How soon after that did you kill again?
Same day.
Why?
Just to prove a point, I guess.
Prove what to whom?
To the warden, the institution and stuff, that it did happen. Just like I told him it would happen.
How did you kill the victim?
I stabbed her to death. She was stabbed, cut up.
How did you select this particular victim?
She was just walking down the street. I picked her up. I took her within a few miles of the prison and left her. They're on Interstate, I think it's 12, but I'm not sure, but I think it's Interstate 12. I've had very, very, very few of my victims scream.
Why?
Because I never let them know when it's going to happen. The next one was in August of 75.
What happened?
No, I take it back. The next victim was in 70. That was out here in, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, it's in north part of Texas here. The next victim.
Why did you?
Just chasing her down the road in a car. And finally chased her down in the car and took her out of the car and took her and killed her.
How did you kill her?
Knifed her.
Have all the victims been stabbed?
No.
How else have you killed?
Shot them, strangled them, beat them, hit and runs. Well, it was two of us together. We hung two or three of them. I had no feelings for that person whatsoever. I never, like, for instance, I would say go from here and do a crime. I'd forget this crime. I wouldn't think of it more.
How fast would you forget it?
No sooner it happened.
If you killed this morning, you forget it by
I'd
noon.
forget it way before noon.
You go back to the scene?
I went back to one scene of a victim. That was in 1982. I went back because I loved that victim more than I loved my own life, really.
Why did you kill her?
The same thing happened with Mom. She hit me and I hit her before I ever realized that I'd done it.
Which victim?
That's Becky. My common law wife.
Kill someone you love because she hit you.
It was just as fast as she hit me, I hit her. That was it.
But did you kill her with just hitting her? One blow?
One blow.
What'd you do with the body?
Later on, we went back and cut it up and scattered it around the field. I tried burying it, but I couldn't.
There's going to be people turning up in canyons, and there are going to be people being shot in Salt Lake City because the police there aren't willing to accept what I think they know, and they know that I didn't do these things.
What do we have here, Ken? Let's see. Oh, it's an indictment, all right. Why don't you read it to me? You're up for election, aren't you? Mr. Bundy? You got it, didn't you? Mr. Bundy? You told me that you were going to get me. You said you was going to get me, okay? You've got the indictment. It's all you're going to get. Let's read it. Let's go.
Theodore Robert Bundy, you are charged, indictment, 2 counts burglary, 2 counts murder in the first degree, 3 counts attempted murder in the first degree. design, or intent to effect the death of said Lisa Levy.
My chance to talk to the press.
Contrary to Section 78204 Florida statute.
I'll plead not guilty right now.
I'm not guilty. Does that include the time I stole a comic book when I was 5 years old? I am not guilty of the charges which have been filed against me.
And the allegations.
And the allegations.
And the rumors and the
I don't know all of what you're speaking about, Lucky. It's too broad and I can't get into it in any detail. But I'm satisfied with my blanket statement that I'm innocent. No man is truly innocent. I mean, we all have transgressed in some way in our lives. And as I say, I've been impolite, and there are things I regret having done in my life. But nothing like the things I think that you're referring to.
As young boys do, we explored the back roads and sideways and byways of our neighborhood, and oftentimes people would dump pornographic books of a harder nature than more graphic, you might say, more explicit nature than we would encounter, let's say, in your local grocery store. And this is something I think I want to emphasize, is the most damaging kinds of pornography are those that involve violence and sexual violence, because the wedding of those two forces brings about behavior that is just too terrible to describe. Once you become addicted to it, and I look at this as a kind of addiction, like other kinds of addiction, I would keep looking for more potent, more explicit, more graphic kinds of material. Like an addiction, you keep craving something which is harder, something which gives you a greater sense of excitement, until you reach the point where the pornography only goes so far. You reach that jumping off point where you begin to wonder if maybe actually doing it will give you that which is beyond just reading about it or looking at it. What's going through my mind right now is to use the minutes and hours that I have left as fruitfully as possible and see what happens. It helps to live in the moment, in the essence that we use it productively. So right now I'm feeling calm, and in large part because I'm here with you.
For the record, you are guilty of killing many women and girls. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true. I wasn't some guy hanging out at bars or a bum, or I wasn't a pervert in the sense that, people look at somebody and say, I know there's something wrong with him, and just tell. I mean, I was essentially a normal person. I had good friends. I led a normal life, except for this one small but very potent and very destructive segment of it that I kept very secret and very close to myself and didn't let anybody know about it. Those who I've harmed, those who I've caused so much grief, even if they don't believe my expression of sorrow and remorse, will believe what I'm saying now, that there is loose in their towns and their communities people like me today whose dangerous impulses are being fueled day in and day out by violence in the media in its various forms, particularly sexualized violence. And what scares and appalls me, Dr. Dobson, is when I see what's on cable TV, some of the movies, some of the violence in the movies that come into homes today was stuff that they wouldn't show in X-rated adult theaters 30 years ago. This stuff...
The slasher movies that you're talking about.
That stuff is, I'm telling you, from personal experience, the most, that is graphic violence on screen, particularly as it gets into the home to children who may be unattended or unaware that they may be a Ted Bundy who has that vulnerability to that predisposition to be influenced by that kind of behavior, by that kind of movie, that kind of violence. those of us who have been so much influenced by violence in the media, in particular pornographic violence, are not some kinds of inherent monsters. We are your sons and we are your husbands. And pornography can reach out and snatch a kid out of any house today. But I'll tell you, there are lots of other kids playing in streets around this country today who are going to be dead tomorrow and the next day and the next day and next month because other young people are reading the kinds of things and seeing the kinds of things that are available in the media today.
I think I stand about as much chance of dying in front of a firing squad or in a gas chamber as you do being killed in a plane flight home. Let's hope you don't.
But you don't lie awake at night thinking about it.
Not a moment. Honest to God, not a moment.
Well, I came there hoping to find a better job. I've always wanted to go to California. The sun, the girls, the beaches, you know, the dreams. You don't think of the smog and the crazy city. Guess what? Hi.
Hi. Are you Ken?
Do I look like Ken?
Well, no. Do you know who I am?
Sure, I know you are.
Okay. You're a little disturbed with me.
So what?
Okay. We just understand each other. Okay?
I don't like you. I don't like you at all.
Well, why don't you like me, Ken? Pardon me. It isn't Ken, is it?
No, it's not. It's Steve. I killed the first girl.
You killed the first girl. Who was she here? You know her?
That nigger.
Oh. I see.
Which?
I see. How did you happen to decide on her?
Well, I didn't see anything wrong with it. It was just there. Hey, man, it doesn't bother me any. I told you, killing a broad doesn't make any difference to me. Killing any fucking buddy doesn't make any difference.
Maybe you didn't kill any of those. I don't know.
Oh, hey, no, wrong, man. Hey, I killed a couple of these.
Well, which one? You think you did, right? I don't know.
I killed her. Angelo killed her.
They mean the Wagner when Angela killed.
This broad I'd never seen before.
Martin.
This broad I'd never seen before.
Hudspeth, you never saw them at all?
No.
Oh.
This broad I'd never seen before.
Robinson says.
This broad I killed. These two Angelo killed.
Vector. Johnston.
This one I'd never seen before.
Angelo killed. Huh? Now,
This one I'd never seen before. This broad I killed.
Barcombe you never seen before. And this Caston is the broad you killed, you say?
Am I going too fast
Yeah,
for you?
you're going so damn fast. I'm not that smart. Okay. I'm not as bright as you are, so let's
Since I enjoy your taste here and your interest, and I'm really, very pleased that you've taken interest in this, I'm going to do you a favor. Just borrow your script here, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll do you a favor
Okay.
so that you don't get lost along the way.
Okay, all right. You do me the favor.
It's real easy.
Yeah.
What you understand is, this one I killed. These two I don't know about. This one I don't know about. This one I killed. This was the first one I killed.
Yeah.
This one. Remember that cunt. Could she have worn her hair differently or something?
I don't know. Fucking remember. How would I know?
Angelo will be across, okay? I'll make it nice and easy for you. And then they were brought into, all the killings occurred in the spare room, next to the bathroom.
Wait a minute, we skipped the sex here.
Oh, we're not there yet.
Oh, okay. His hands are tied, and then they're taken to...
Hands are tied, and then they're taken into the spare room next to the bathroom. That's when there was sex with the girls. After that, they were untied, allowed to dress themselves, tied up again, and they sat back on the bed. And meanwhile, everything was made ready. They were then...
What did that involve?
Getting the rope to kill them with.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Okay,
Can't believe I'm talking about this.